It's Gelato Reviews, and here today we're back with another strain review, but today we have something that I've been calling the 41 Gorillas. It's actually an unknown or an unnamed strain. What it really is Gorilla Glue crossed to Gelato 41. So I've just been calling it 41 Gorillas. But this one definitely has a lot to offer. It's not only going to be something that's going to pack a punch, but it's also going to do it in a way that is going to be very enjoyable for the people, and it's also going to have a taste that is pretty good. So I would actually say this is going to be something that isn't going to be the most beautiful thing in a lineup. It's definitely not going to impress you just based off the looks and off the smell, but it's going to be something that overall lives up to what you're actually aiming for. So let's get into it. When it comes to the look, this one is actually going to be getting a 7.5. I would say a 7.5 is very fair because it almost has this machine trimmed look, and that might not be the case. I'm not 100% positive if it is machine trimmed. What I can say for a fact is it has that appearance where it is just over trimmed. It looks like they knocked off a lot of the goods, and whenever they do machine trim something, it's going to be knocking off a lot of the trichomes, so it is just no good for the client. In that scenario, it is going to be knocking off a lot of the valuable. So I hope that's not the case, but it appears that is the case. So that's one of the reasons it's not getting such a high ranking. It is going to have some beautiful color. It's going to look very good when you do break it up, but it is going to have that weird over trimmed look that is not going to be great in my opinion. It's also going to have just a lot of the structure of it trimmed off of it. It almost looks to be these rocks, like these pebbles at this point, and you could tell that at one point it probably did have some amazing structure to it that was beautiful to look at, but someone wanted to cut a corner and decided to machine trim it or throw it through some type of weird process of trimming that makes it look like this. So I did mention how the smell isn't great. I'm actually going to backtrack on that. I'm going to actually say the smell is great on this. It is definitely going to be something that draws you in right away. It's going to be something that is very similar to just Gorilla Glue, but it's going to have this hint of gassy sweetness that is very pleasing. Honestly, the thing I love about Gorilla Glue is this chocolatey funkiness that it always has in its taste and its smell. It's definitely going to have this weird smell that a lot of people aren't necessarily going to pinpoint the chocolate in it, but when you really look for it, you'll see it. It's definitely there, and this is one of those ones that you will be able to see it a little bit better than other times. I feel like the chocolatey, buttery taste that comes out of this one is definitely nice, but I would say for the smell, it is a little bit better than it's actually going to taste. I would say this one's definitely going to have this pungent, very interesting smell. It's not necessarily going to jump out of the jar, so a 9 might be hyping it a little bit, but I would say that this is definitely going to be, it's going to be really good. It's definitely going to be really, really good. That leads us to the taste. The taste on this one's really nice as well. I would say that the smell's a little bit better, but it's definitely very comparable. It's definitely something that isn't super consistent. I've had experiences with this where I've smoked it out of the bong and it doesn't really have much of a taste, and then other times out of the same bong where it tastes amazing. So definitely not the most consistent one for whatever reason. Not quite sure how that's possible, but something I noticed. It's definitely something that lacks consistency, so I would have to say that an 8 for the taste is fair, a 9 for the smell, very fair. Definitely something that is very much going to impress a lot of people. But when it comes down to the high, it does somewhat not fully live up to that Gorilla Glue in a way, because Gorilla Glue is always going to be something that people remember for the pheno that delivers that punch, that knockout blow. But what I've heard is supposedly there was other phenos of Gorilla Glue that were more energetic, more uplifted, and we do see those still on the market sometimes, and we almost see those only now for like a Gorilla Glue. I would say this one definitely is a nice effect. It's great for calming you, killing the noise, and just putting you into a mindset where you're definitely going to conquer whatever you need to conquer. At the same time, it is going to be something that isn't necessarily super potent. I've noticed myself, I've noticed the high sort of wearing off faster than other things. And I don't know, could be the way it's grown. A lot of things could be in play for that. But overall, I would give it this score right here. I would say that this is definitely something that's well deserving of a high score. It's definitely something that I was very impressed with, and I've also seen it on someone else's menu for a little bit cheaper, so I would say this is definitely something that I can imagine will have a lot of success in the future. This is one of those strains or one of these crosses that I could imagine people really enjoying in the bigger picture, so definitely recommend it.